Video we'll be learning about stack and queue. So what is stack? A stack is an abstract data type which is commonly used in most of the programming languages. So a stack can be considered to be a real world stack, for example a deck of cards or a pile of plates. So just like a deck of cards, it allows an operation at one end only. That is, when we place or remove a card or plate from the top of the stack only, we allow all the data operations at one end at the same time. So there we can only access the topmost element of the stack. So this feature makes it a LIFO data structure, where LIFO stands for last in first out. Here, the element which is placed, inserted or added last is accessed first. In stacks terminology, we can say that insertion operation is called push operation and removal operation is called pop operation. So in the stack representation, the following diagram gives us the pictorial representation of what is a LIFO. So here are some of the basic operations that are performed in a stack. So firstly, there's a push operation where you push an element onto the stack, and second is a pop operation which is removing an element from the stack. So data is pushed onto the stack. We have three functions. So first function is to get the top data element of the stack without removing it. So peek function allows us to get the top data element, the element which is there at the top of the stack, using the peek function. Is full function is used to check whether the stack is full, and is empty function is used to check whether the stack is empty. At all times we need to maintain a pointer so that we can push the last element onto the stack. As a pointer always represents the top of the stack, it is often called top. The top pointer provides always the top value of the stack without actually removing it from the stack. So the implementation of the peek function can be there seen in the diagram. Int peek function returns stack top. So using this function we can get the top element and then we can point out to the top data element of the stack. So now we look on into the push operation. So there are a series of algorithm we need to follow while dealing with the push operation. The process of putting a new data element onto stack is known as push operation. So the first step is check whether the stack is full, and if the stack is full you should produce an error and exit from the stack. So it means that if the stack is already full, then you cannot add an extra element to the stack. So you need to produce a message that an error has occurred and therefore you need to exit. And step 3, if the stack is not full, then you need to increment the top pointer to the next level, that is the topmost position, to the next empty space. Fourth, at that empty space, that is the topmost position, that where you have incremented the top pointer, you need to add the data element where the top is pointing. And step 5 is return success of pushing the element to the stack. So this is a pictorial representation of how the push operation is done. So firstly we can see the top is pointing to D, then after that you can see as stack is not full, so we have incremented the value of top, and now as above D it's empty space, so we can add E to the stack and then we'll return success. See, and here you need to note one point, which is if a linked list is used to implement the stack, then in step 3, that is to increment the top, we need to allocate space and dynamically. So when we use linked list other than stack, we need to allocate the memory required for storing that additional element by ourselves. So the program won't create memory for itself. We need to allocate the space dynamically. Next we'll see is the algorithm for the same. So begin procedure push stack data. If stack is full, return null. That is, if it's already full, then return null. And end if, that is else top is equal to top plus 1, stack top equal to data. End procedure. Into an example of push operation. So void push in data if not is full, that is if the stack is not full, then increment the value of top equal to top plus 1. Then we'll store the data into the topmost element using stack top equal to data. Else condition, if the stack is full, then we'll drop a message that could not insert data, stack is full. Now we will look on into the pop operation. So accessing the content while removing it from the stack is known as pop operation. So in an array implementation of pop operation, the data element is not actually removed. Instead, the top is decremented to its lower position in the stack to point to the next value. So the difference between stack and linked list here is the linked list actually removes the data element and deallocates the memory space. But what happens in stack is that it instead top top is decremented to its lower position in a stack other than actually removing that element and deallocating the space. So there are few steps that are to be followed in a pop operation. Step 1 is that we need to check whether the stack is empty. And in step 2, if the stack is empty, then we will show a message that is an error and exit. And if the stack is not empty, then we'll access the data element at which the top is pointing. Step 4, if the stack element is not empty, the second step is we'll decrease the value of top by 1 and reach the lower value of the top, and after that we'll be returning success. So you can see the pictorial representation. Once you see that the stack is not empty, we point to the topmost value using the top pointer, that is E. Then after that we'll be decreasing the value of top by 1, so the top pointer will be pointing to D after successfully popping the element E from the stack. And this is an algorithm of pop operation. So begin procedure pop stack. If stack is empty, return null, and if data equal to stack top equal to top minus 1, return data. End procedure. So the basic implementation of this algorithm in C language is in pop in data if not is empty, that is if the stack is not empty, then we will be putting the topmost value element into data equal to stack top and top equal to top minus 1 in order to change the value of top to the decremented value, that is the next lower position. Then we'll be returning the data. Else if the stack is already empty, then we'll be dropping a message could not retrieve data and therefore stack is empty. Now we look on into the applications of postfix expression. So as postfix expression is without parenthesis, it can be evaluated using two operands and an operator at a time, which makes it very much of easy to the compiler and the computer to handle. So there are a set of rules while handling a postfix expression you need to keep in mind. While reading the expression, we need to read it from left to right, and therefore when we encounter any of the operand, that is an operand here is referred to any of the digit, that is 5, 6, 7, 8, any of the digit, 1 to 9, any of the digit, and operator is any of the operation, that is plus, minus, division, multiplication. So when we read from left to right, we should push the element in the stack only if it is an operand, and if we come across any of the operation, that is operator, then we will be popping out the top two operands from the stack, then we will be performing the operation on the operand, and then we will be pushing the final answer to the stack after evaluation. So the third step will be pushing back the result of the evaluation and repeat till the end of the expression is reached. So now we'll see an algorithm for the postfix expression. So first we'll see that we'll be adding a right parenthesis to post expression. Then we'll be reading postfix expression from left to right until this right parenthesis is encountered, which means the end of the postfix expression has been reached. Then if operand is the operand is reached if the operation is successful, and after the reaching the right parenthesis we will be terminating this process, and finally we'll set result equal to pop. And now we will look on into an example of how this postfix expression looks like. So we'll look first to the right diagram. So input 4, pushing the 4 into the stack 4, then we'll be inputting 5, push 5, 4 comma 5, then 6, push 4 comma 5 comma 6, then an operator is found, that is multiplication. So pop out two elements, that is the topmost elements 5 and 6, then perform the operation on it, that is 5 into 6, that is 30. Then once again putting this result back into the stack, so pushing result 30, we get 4 comma 30. So the next operation is plus. So we'll pop out two most topmost element, that is 30 and 4. We'll be performing the operation, that is 4 plus 30 equal to 34. Then at last we'll be pushing the result 34 into stack, and then 34 is the calculation result. Now we'll see an important code which consists of all these push, pop and postfix expression. So we'll be declaring the header files and define max stack 100, postfix size 100. We'll be taking the top size to be -1, and because array index in C begins at 0, we can start the top to be as -1. So void push int item defining the push operation function. So if top greater than equal to max stack -1, print stack overflow, which means that if the stack is full, so we'll be printing it's already full, that is stack overflow. Else if it's not full, then we can increment the value of top pointer to its topmost value, topmost element, and then we can store the value at its topmost element using the code stack top equal to item. Now we'll see how to define pop operation. So int pop int item, if top less than equal to 0, print f stack underflow, which means that if the stack is empty, then we need to show that the stack underflow has been taking place. Therefore, if we come across else condition, then item equals stack top. So the pointer, that is the top pointer which is pointing to the topmost element, will be stored in item. Then we'll be decrementing the pointer's value, and we'll be giving it the lowermost position from the top, that is the second most topmost element. So top equal to top -1, then return item. Now we'll see how we'll define a function, that is evaluation of postfix expression. So we'll be declaring the variables int I character ch for the operand, int value for the final expression, int a and b as operand, and ch is for the operator. So we'll be forming a loop ch till postfix I not equal to parenthesis right parenthesis. So until we meet the right parenthesis asking the user for this end expression, we'll be running the loop. So character ch equal to postfix I, which will be an operator simple. So if is digit ch, that is used because we saw an operand push the digit onto stack. So if the character is A to Z other than 0, then it will be put into the stack. Otherwise all the digits, if the character is from A to Z, then it will be put into the stack. And if we come across any of the digit, then first topmost two elements will be popped out, then the operation will be done among them, and then the result will be pushed again into the stack. So else if condition, if the operation is plus minus star or division, then we will be popping out two elements, that is the top two elements a and b, and we'll be doing that operation on those operands, and then we'll be putting the final value into val variable. So we'll be making a switch case, that is ch as its condition. So if case star val equal to b star a, break. Then similarly for other operations. Then finally after we get the value val, we'll be pushing that value into the stack. Then finally we'll be showing the result of expression evaluation to be pop. So this is the main function. We'll be declaring postfix size. Then we'll be asking input, that is any of the four operators, and an operate for the operation to be done. and then we'll be telling the user to press right parenthesis when the end of the expression is reached. So till I is less than equal to postfix size minus 1, we will input the expression from the user. So if postfix I double equal to right parenthesis, that is when we meet the right parenthesis at the end of the expression, we'll be terminating the expression's condition. So we'll be using break statement, and thus we'll be calling the function evaluate postfix so as to continue the function here, which is shown return 0. So this is the output. First run will be getting enter postfix expression, press right parenthesis for end expression. So the user has given 456 star plus and right parenthesis to end. So the result we get is 34, as we have seen in the last slide. So second run we'll see similarly the expression is 1 2 3 4 5 star plus star plus star plus and the right expression for ending. So we'll get the result as 47. You can try this out in a pen and paper. So now we'll move on further. Now we'll see a queue operation. Queue is entirely different from a stack. Here what we implement is a principle called as FIFO. So in FIFO it means that first in first out. So for this you can imagine an actual queue for a ticket counter for virtual 8. So the first person in the queue is the first one to get the ticket and hence is the first one to get out. So now you can see the pictorial representation, which makes it much more clear. So front and back, NQ is adding or inserting element and DQ is removing that element. So this is the process where front we add 1, then using the front function we take out 1, and DQ is removing that 1 and making the front element to be the second most element. So here are the definitions of the operations. NQ means inserting of an element into the queue. So in a normal queue at a ticket counter, where does a new person go and stand to become a part of the queue? The person goes stand in the back. Similarly, a new element in the queue is also inserted at the back of the queue. DQ operation means removing of the element from the queue. Since queue follows FIFO principle, we need to remove the element of the queue which was inserted at first. So naturally the element which is inserted first will be the friend of the queue. So we'll be removing the friend element and let the element behind it be the new friend element, as we saw in this case. That is, here it is 2. Front operation is used such as a peek operation, as we saw in stack. It returns the value of the element at front without removing it. So front operation in queue is similar to what is peek operation in stack. It returns the value of the element at the front without removing it. So now we see, as we saw, is empty function. So this function is used to check whether the queue is empty. This always returns a boolean value, that is true or false. So now we'll see an example, that is if int q8 array size, then front equal to -1 and back equal to -1. The size is taken as -1, denoting that the queue is empty. So this is the basic class we have taken: int array, capacity, front and back, and we have also created a constructor which initializes capacity, that is the size, normal size of the stack, front and back pointers, so as to transfers. So this is a case of a circular queue, whereby you can see that when the last element gets over, we come across the first element. So how is the transfers done in such a case? So we see that we can use the reminder after dividing by 8 when increasing index. For this case, as the size is 8, we can use the reminder after dividing by 8 to move on next step further. So this is the syntax of how it's done. Array I plus 1 modulus capacity. So when we increase the index in a circular array, we take modulus with the size of the array to proceed to the next element. So you can remember this statement, array I plus 1 modulus capacity. Now we move forward and we'll be discussing in depth of DQ. So deletion of element. So the main point to be remembered in DQ is we'll be deleting it from the front end. So access the element which is stored in the front position. So the first step you need to remember is to access the element which is there at the front position. So this is done by using the statement item is equal to array front. And next step you'll see that if front double equal to back, then there is only one single element in the queue. So if there is one single element in the queue, then you should set a condition in such a way that it should return the value front equal to back equal to -1, so that you can show that the queue is already empty. And the third step we'll see otherwise, that is increase the value of front by 1. That is, if front equal to front plus 1, then we'll use the statement front equal to front plus 1 modulus capacity. And in the end we'll use the statement to return the value that is stored in the item. Now we'll look into what a dequeue operation is. So in dequeue, if is empty function is double equal to true, so is empty function is used to see whether the queue is already empty. So if we come across a queue which is already empty, then we'll print a message that is queue is empty. An else condition states that we'll be storing the topmost value in an item, that is int item equal to array front, and if front double equal to back, that is if only single element is left in the queue, then we will be assigning a value -1 to both front equal to back, so as to show that the pointers have been pointed to -1, that is the least index in a queue. As front equal to front plus 1 modulus capacity. So this is the syntax used to transverse in a queue and return item. But we have just implemented step 1. So what is the step 2 about? Step 2 is mainly deallocating any memory assigned to the element being dequeued. So here step 2 is mainly focusing on how to allocate memory to the already popped out element. So we will be dealing with the primitive data type integer, and therefore we won't do any dynamic deallocating of element. Now we move further to see what is a priority queue. So priority queue is basically an extension of queue with some of the additional properties. These properties are: every item has a priority associated with it. An element with higher priority is dequeued before an element with lower priority. If two elements have the same priority, they are served according to their order in the queue. So there are some priorities that have to be followed while maintaining the sequence in a queue. So those are basing on the maximum ASCII value. So the maximum ASCII value will have the highest priority. So as you can see in the diagram, you can see a queue has been taken. So insert C, we have C, then O, CO, then we insert D, COD. Then we remove max. So the max among these three are O. So O is removed and we have finally C and D in the queue. Then we once again insert I, it becomes CDI. Then N is inserted, then we get CDIN. Then once again we remove the maximum of the ASCII value. So this time N is removed. Then we insert G. So it becomes CDIG. So in priority queue, the most important priority is given to the maximum ASCII value. So this is basically an extension of queue with some of the particular properties. So a typical priority queue supports following operation. So there are typical priority that a queue has been following. So it has insert, get highest priority, delete highest priority functions, and these three functions are used simultaneously to insert, return and remove the highest priority item. So how does the implementation of priority queue take place? So there is a simple statement. So using an array you can create and we can implement using an array the following structure. So struct item int priority. Insert operation can be implemented by adding an item at the end of the array at 0 1 time. So this is the step of how an insertion of element takes place in a priority queue. Firstly, you can see by the diagram, inserting an element into a priority queue max heap is done by the following steps. First of all, we'll insert the new element at the end of the tree. So insertion of the element is taken place at the end of the queue 7. Then after that we heapify the tree. So heapify after insertion means that we'll be giving it the maximum of the value. So we'll be looking for the maximum value among 2 and 7. They will push the true values into those two elements and we'll give it the maximum value to be in the topmost position. So we'll do similar with 3, 1 and 4. So keep on doing, we get the highest element at the top. Algorithm for insertion of an element into priority queue max heap. If there is no node, create a new node, else a no node is already present, insert that new node at the end and heapify the array once again in the similar manner. Now we see how deletion of an element from priority queue is done. So for the simple way, delete the element. So we'll take the maximum value of the element and we'll be deleting it step by step. So first here 3 is taken and then we swap it with the last element. So the last element we get was 5. So we exchange 3 and 5, and after that we'll be swapping the last leaf node element. So after swapping the last leaf node element, we'll be getting the highest value in the second tree position. So after getting this kind of tree, we'll be removing the last element found at the belowest position. So there will be a change of branch and 3 will be removed from the last element leaf, and therefore heapify the tree as in the same way we have seen in the previous slide. Now we look into an example as of how we can use this push and pop in the case of priority queue. So here we can see that int size is taken to be 0, then int star a star b, two pointers a and b have been taken as arguments. Then we are basically swapping here using a temp variable. So we have swapped using temp equal to star b equal to star a equal to temp. So the pointers have been swapped successfully. Now we'll be using the function heapify, and int array, int size and int I are the arguments. So if there is only single element in the heap, we'll be using the printf element, and else condition will be finding the largest among root, left child and right child. So if we get the largest, we'll be declaring it to I. So L equal to 2 star I plus 1, R equal to 2 star I plus 2 as it is a tree. Then we'll be giving the condition if L is less than size and array 1 greater than array largest. Then we'll be putting the value of L to be equal to largest. And else condition is that if R less than size and array R is greater than array largest, then we'll be putting R equal to largest. So this basically means the left branch of the tree, and this is the right branch of the tree. And similarly we'll be swapping and continuing the heapifying if root is not the largest. So if we haven't not reached the largest element, then if largest not equal to y, then we will be swapping once again. We'll be calling the function and heapify the function once again, passing the arguments array, size and largest. Now we'll see how is insertion of an element takes place into a tree. So this is an insert function whereby array and new name have been given as arguments, and if the size is double equal to 0, then we will be considering the statement. We'll be adding new number to the 0th position, that is a base address of array, and we'll be incrementing the size. Else condition is that we'll be giving the value according to the loop, and then we'll be adding the new number to the array size, and we'll be incrementing the size value to be 1. So we'll be running a loop for I equal to size by 2 minus 1, I less than equal to 0, I minus minus, heapify array size I. So this is calling of the function once again. Function to delete element from the tree. Now we'll be using a function to delete the root. So here two arguments are taken, int array, int num, and now we'll be declaring a loop. I equal to 0, I less than size, I plus plus, and if we meet a condition where num is double equal to array, then we'll be directly breaking from the loop. Now swapping is done using the function and array I and array size minus 1. So this is used as a prototype, and now size minus equal to 1 so as to decrement the value of size while deleting the root, so that the top pointer points to the lowermost position. Now similarly, as we have seen in the insertion loop, the for loop also states here size less than 2 minus 1, I greater than equal to 0 as I minus minus, will heapify array size comma I, calling the function once again, so that to arrange the tree and get the lowermost part element in the lowermost part of the tree, and then popping out the element. Then later on, after the whole process is done, we'll be printing the array. Printing of the array is done using I is equal to 0, I is less than equal to size I plus plus, and we'll be printing it new line by line. So this is the main function array comma 3, array comma 5, array comma 9, 5 and 2. Then by max heap array, we'll be calling the function array, and we'll be deleting the root, and we'll be showing the deleted elements answer. So this is the end of the slides. Next I'll be putting the linked list video.